definitely not on the homestead right now. Welcome to Wild Hope Homestead. We're definitely not on the homestead right now. We are actually in Twizel, well, on the way to Mount Cook for today to do some exploring on our Great South Island holiday. So I'm going to be sharing some things along the way, mostly just taking some videos of all the beautiful and fun things. So hope you guys enjoy coming along with us. Christchurch is the first place that we went to. We have a lot of friends and as well as extended family in Christchurch. Steve and I lived in Christchurch for about 5 years during the earthquake patch. It's always interesting to go back there since we left because so much has changed and yet some things haven't changed much. We went into the city centre and a lot of things have changed around there. Last time we were in Christchurch was about 8 years ago when Angus was 2. It was really nice going to our old church in Christchurch, catching up with people there. There's always lots of friendly faces, people who were there when we were there, and plenty of people to catch up with. And then there's the cathedral, which is still in a state of reasonable muntedness, slightly less munted than it was, but it's just stalled at the moment, nothing's happening to it. Then we went to the Botanic Gardens, which is always one of my favourite places to go, obviously. There are so many nice trees and plants and things to look at. Lots of old trees. It's just a really beautiful place to walk around and it's good for the soul. We did have a few challenges with getting there, aside from the sickness. The day that we left, when we were getting ready to leave, there was a power cut. It was a scheduled power cut, but I somehow didn't realise that it was actually for the whole day, and when we don't have power, we also don't have water, because the water pump needs power to pump the water through the taps. So, quail wherever we go. We were not very prepared for that. We had to leave the house in a bit of a mess because we couldn't do the dishwasher or dishes or much other cleanings, and it was also very, very stinking hot because we couldn't have the aircon on.
Shall we catapult you off?
No!
Canada geese.
Certainly.
Curtain tree.
Certainly.
When we got to our airport parking and I went to get the car seat out of the car, which we needed to take with us, I discovered that I had installed it wrongly and the seatbelt was stuck over kind of the arm of the car seat. And when I released the seatbelt buckle, it wouldn't come off. And when I handed it over to Steve, he he kept feeding the seatbelt back through, thinking that it was going to release its grip and loosen up, which of course it did not, because that's not what they do. It just kept getting tighter and tighter around the car seat until the car seat was definitely stuck, and we didn't have any tools to take the seatbelt off or anything. And so we were down to the two options of either one, just leaving it there and having to buy a car seat, which would not really, apart from the expense, would not really be practical because we needed one right when we got down there for transporting Scarlett, or two, the option I knew we needed to take, which was using the emergency tool that thankfully I have in the car, which is one of those things where you can break the glass on one end and cut a seatbelt on the other end. And so Steve made me cut the seatbelt and we got the car seat out, knowing that when we got back we would have to deal with getting a new seatbelt. There were definitely challenges in getting towards the holiday, but once we were there, things definitely got better. Can you get over? Okay.
You need more than just a doorway for a house.
Why?
Whoa. That's what happens when you go on the Denny road. One evening we went to see New Brighton Pier on the beach, but it was one of those easterly wind patterns which made it very cold and windy, so we didn't stay too long, but the kids enjoyed running around on the sand for a bit. We went for a walk with friends through one of the red zones. There are still red zones in Christchurch where there were houses deemed unsafe to live in and the land is not able to be inhabited again. Most of the houses have been demolished for quite a while. The streets are mostly still there. Driveways have mostly been covered over with grass. It's just this weird, eerie, kind of abandoned, but also starting to flourish space. It's kind of like a park because there are so many just grass areas, but then there are these old-looking streets. It was nice to see that they have redone some footbridges, made some new, nice-looking, strong ones to replace the ones that got busted in the earthquake. And they've done some landscaping around the bridges. Some paths had been made and sealed. There are some different playthings for kids to play on. There was a community garden. It's nice to see ideas starting to be worked on and brought to life. We drove up into the Port Hills to the sign of the Kiwi because there are some good walks around there on the hills where you can see Christchurch on one side and down into the bays of Banks Peninsula around Littleton and Cass Bay and Corsair Bay on the other side. We did part of one walk, but we didn't get that far because of a small child who was struggling with walking a lot. We have to remember that she was still a little bit sick when we went away. She still had a bit of a cough. It was a nasty sickness, and we're just grateful that we actually got there. After a little wander, we drove down to Cass Bay, which is one of the nice bays near Littleton, and then we drove past Littleton and back through the Littleton Tunnel.